It's the Monday Morning Show. Today is May 25th, 2018. I'm Ken LaSalle from kenlasalle.com. How you doing? You got a minute? Let's go see a movie. I love movies. The only reason I write books is because I can't make movies. They cost too damn much. They cost way too damn much. And I'm just not charismatic enough to convince anyone to trust me with that kind of money. But I love movies. And I've always wanted to do something movie-related in my podcast and on my YouTube channel. Now, there are more than enough reviewers out there, and besides, my life has become way too crazy for me to be able to go out and see whatever new film is playing in the cinema. For that matter, I'm too damn lazy to get up and go see whatever new film is playing out in the cinema. Our technology, and my own general sense of laziness, has gotten to the point where it's just better to watch movies at home. Can you pause the film while you go to the bathroom at the theater? No. Can you talk all you want at the theater? No. They even make you turn your phone off. And do you have to drive out to some building where you're going to be overcharged for snacks when you watch movies at home? No. Damn, I am pretty lazy, aren't I? But I love movies. I have a wall of them at my house. Movies of every type and from every time. I've got Harold Lloyd flicks, the Thin Man series, noir films, Bond films, 70s cinema, and more. New movies, old movies, all kinds. And see, I had to move them all recently when we switched internet providers from the absolute worst internet provider in our area, that would be AT&T, to a company that was so bad they had to change their name out of shame. That would be Spectrum, previously known as Time Warner. They had to run some cables, so I had to move some furniture. And moving a wall of Blu-rays and DVDs means taking them all down off of the shelf, which meant I also had to put them all back up again. Now, I'll be honest with you, it had been a while since I watched my movies. And yes, I think of them as my movies because, I bought them, they're mine. But more than that, there are just some movies that have become such a part of me over the years. I love them in a way a normal person might love, a child. Or maybe a small dog. Or perhaps a fish. Am I closing in on the right thing? All I know is I love my movies. But this writing gig has encompassed so much of my life that I never have time to watch my flicks. Back in the old days, I used to lay all my movies out and line them up in order, either chronologically or through some strange scheme I would dream up. And I'd watch them all the way through. This was easy when I only owned 50 or 60 films, but people started to think I was a little bit nuts by the time I owned a few hundred. But back when I worked for a living, they gave me an incredible escape. Movies I loved, just waiting to be watched. Anyway, when I looked at all these movies I'd taken off of the shelf, I knew I wanted to do something like that again. But I also knew that I'd love to work it into this podcast and onto my YouTube channel. But how to do it? Would I line them all up chronologically again? Would I rate them all on a scale of 1 to 10 and then watch them in ascending order from worst to best? No. Too much work. I knew I couldn't watch them all because if I watched one movie per week, which is what I'll be doing here, that would have taken decades to complete. Instead, as I returned the films to their shelf, I picked out only the movies that I really wanted to see. I grabbed a big cardboard box and threw them into the box. Then I put them in a bit of a chronological order. Kinda. You might call the order I'll be watching them in somewhat chronological. We'll start with silent films, and then move on to what I call old but not silent. From there, into the 50s, which is still pretty damned old, and decade by decade after that. And we'll finish it all with a few series, The Thin Man, Bond, and more. Each week, I'll sit down and watch one of my movies, and each week I'll talk about it on this podcast and over in my YouTube channel under the heading Big Box of Flicks. We'll kick things off next week with a little film by Harold Lloyd. Until then, I just need to learn how to use screen capturing software. How do you use screen capturing software? Until next time, be good to yourself, be kind to others, and let's make this world a better place.